Hi guys, welcome to Full Time Devils. Adam McCullough here. It's the preview of Swansea versus Manchester United, and it's also the return of the Mac. Where's Sam? I do not know, but I'm here with Gaz, Howson, and Haley, and we're going to start by talking about Herrera and Blind, who started in the midfield against Preston. It's something that a lot of fans have been calling for. They want to see that duo in the middle. Howson, I've heard you talking about them a lot. What did you make of their performance, and do you want to see it again?
I do want to see him again. I didn't think it was up to scratch against Preston. We're still sort of leaving Blind at the back on his own, the way we're lining up, and everyone else is bombing forward. There's nobody coming short, which is what I thought Herrera would do. He did it a little bit, especially more towards the end on Monday night, but he's not really sitting where I would hope him to. So you'll see later when I pull my lineup out. I've gone for the two in midfield, and I want those two to sit next to each other because that's the only way that we're going to get a foothold in midfield. We're going to draw opposition midfield and defence out of place, and we're going to have a chance at getting in behind them. It's just too congested with the way that we line up at the moment, and that's why we can't find space or dictate and control the midfield.
Haley, do you agree?
Yep, exactly. When you see my lineup later, I've gone for the two in the middle as well. I think they both kind of add different things to the midfield. So Blind, it breaks up the attacks. He's actually the fourth highest, has the fourth highest interceptions out of every player in the Premier League. And he distributes from the back well. And then Herrera just adds some positivity to our play. He looks to get the ball forward. And he's adding assists and goals as well. He got a goal at the weekend. So I'm really pleased with both of them, and I want them to start.
Yeah, we've seen the stats: 5 starts, 5 goals, 5 assists. Gaz, do you think Herrera brings something different to the team? And do you think he needs to play alongside a foil like Daley Blind, or can we get him in there some other way?
Well, one thing I've really been impressed by Blind is the way that he takes the ball from defence and sort of links the defence to the midfield. I think he does that a little bit better than what Michael Carrick does when he's on the pitch, but I do think Michael Carrick had a few games. It'll be interesting to see if he gets back in the team when he's back from injury. And I think that Herrera has to start with him because, as we've been saying for months and all the fans have been saying, he just makes us tick. He is the one that links the midfield from the attack. So if you start in Blind and Herrera, then you've got the basis of a good midfield there.
I do kind of agree with what Howson said, that the positions that they're playing in, maybe we do need to see them start, but then maybe it's the formation. And I know that's kind of being a hypocrite because I've said before that it's not always the formation. The formation is very similar when it's a 4-3-3, a 3-5-2, or the diamond as we're seeing now. But maybe a 4-2-3-1 would allow Herrera and Blind to build that foundation that our attacks could build from, and that we could hopefully see some more fluidity and movement in our game. I'll ask you about that when you give your team a little bit later, Hassan. But onto a topic that's very close to my heart, for obvious everyone already knows. Falcao, I've got in my notes here, Falcao failure, ? But I hate to put that name beside a player that has been, over the last few years, obviously world-class before his injury, and I still believe he's got it in him. Why has he not produced at Manchester United? Ladies first, Haley.
Why? I don't know. Is it the injury? I can tell you what he's doing wrong. He's not making runs. There's been a real lack of pace from him and obviously Van Persie as well. And his first touch has been so disappointing. And I hate criticising him because like you, I really, really wanted him to do well. I was so excited when he signed. But he's just been so frustrating every week. And is it his injury? Is he going to get better, or is it just a case of, that's really the decline for him now? I don't think he can stay at this stage. He really has been poor, and it's so disappointing. Gutted for him.
Howson, I'll come to you next. Do you think it's a case of Falcao has been poor? He shouldn't be at Manchester United after the summer. Or do you think it's a case that if you look at all of our top goal scorers, Robin Van Persie has just hit double figures now in February. Wayne Rooney isn't in that yet, nor is Falcao. And then our closest scorer after that is Mata. So do you think it's a case of the lack of goals are coming from the team performance or our individual strikers not performing?
Yeah, mate, I've said it for a long time that I don't think you can pin Falcao's lack of good performances purely on Falcao. None of our strikers, as you've just said, have really lit the world up. So you can't really go, he's doing it, but he's not, so he's not a good player. None of them are doing it. And when you look at the names that you've just reeled off, you've got Falcao, Van Persie, Rooney. Those are
Say it
top-level
again.
players. They are top-level players, and for all of them not to be doing it at once, I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't believe that all of these players just happen to drop out of form at the same time. We've got to facilitate good performances from our team, and we're not doing that at the moment. As for whether he stays or whether he's considered a failure, it's not my decision whether he stays. I would like to see him stay because I think you don't get to the level he was at and then just completely lose it. As for considered a failure, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say, yes, he is at the moment, but there's an asterisk next to it in terms of he's not really been given the opportunity by the way that we've played.
Yeah. Guys, do you agree with that, mate?
Well, I'm in two minds about this, to be honest, because on one hand, it's like, well, none of our strikers are performing, so maybe it's to do with the service that they are getting. But we saw Wayne Rooney the other night, in the first half especially. The runs he was making, he wanted the ball. He was getting in behind the defence. Not one of Van Persie or Falcao have done that yet this season. And for me, it's getting to the point now where we're starting to think, is he really good enough for the Premiership? Is he a class Premiership striker? But I could see him leaving and then lighting it up in another league, and then everyone saying, "Oh, it's." I know it's a completely different circumstances, but people saying, "Oh, United letting another player go, like another Pogba or something like that." But the Premier League is very different to other leagues, so I don't think people can say that if he does go.
I personally agree with Howson in the sense that we've not been using him properly. I would love to go into that, but we do need to be a little bit quicker. So, Howson, give us your team, mate.
Again, Nat. Valencia, Smalling, Rojo and Shaw as my back four. Midfield two of Blind and Herrera, and for the reasons that I pointed out a little bit earlier. I am one that believes that formation is more or less irrelevant. It's the mentality that you put on people. And the mentality that I want to put into these two is I want these two to hold the ground in the midfield, not get ahead of the ball, not look for space that's not there on the edge of the opposition box.
All right. Come on with your team.
Matter on the right because he needs to play, and he's another player that can link up that sort of nice and easy football on the ground. Rooney in the number 10 because he ain't getting dropped as the captain. Whether or not he should be getting dropped, but that's another story. Di Maria on the left, just because I think that's who he's more than likely going to go for, and I'm dropping Falcao and I'm going to go for Wilson, just to try and get a little bit of pace in behind.
All right, shut up now. I hate you for dropping Falcao, by the way. Hayley, what's your team?
Very, very similar at the back. The hair. I've gone for Rafa. I think he should get a start right back. Smalling, Rojo pick themselves, and Shaw in the midfield. I've also gone for Blind and Herrera. I think they're looking good there. And for the rest of the team, I've actually gone for, believe it or not, Di Maria and Young on the wings. Matt at number 10, Rooney up top. I want us to see some wing play, some pace. I want that to be given a chance.
Nice. Guys, what do you make of the two teams?
I think that both teams have a bit more width, and we've said for ages, I mean, I've been wanting wingers for ages, and it made the difference, didn't it, the other night at Preston? When as soon as we put width, as soon as Ashley Young came on, we saw we were playing more like the old United, more of that wide play, that good style of play. So I'm happy to see that. It'll be interesting if they actually picked Howson's team, how Mata does on that side, because I know he'd obviously play more of an inside forward, but whether he has the pace to actually play as a good winger is another question.
You know what I love? I wasn't laughing at you when I was smiling then, guys. I was laughing at the thought that Ashley Young is now deemed our saviour as he was against Preston. Who are you scared of in the opposition, Howson?
Sigurdsson, that's a kid with talent. He's probably their only player that I'd consider to be of a real class standard. I like Ashley Williams as well myself. I think he's going to be someone that ends up as a top four club probably. Maybe not United, but I could definitely see him going somewhere like Arsenal, maybe Liverpool. I don't think he'll stay at Swansea.
Liverpool,
I think he's 30 already, but I think he'll move up.
Gaz?
Yeah, like Howson says, I think that Sigurdsson is a standout player, but they do have other players that can create something out of nothing. I mean, Routledge, he scored some good goals this year, so he's a player that I think we've got to watch out for. And I think that these are a team that even if we were to dominate them all game, they still could come back with a goal out of completely nothing. So I think we do have to watch them as a team.
Hayley, who's the main man we should be scared of?
Yeah, Howson said it. Sigurdsson, yeah, he's been great from this season, and I think important to point out that Southampton we were on really good form and lost at home to Swansea. Swansea were away, so I do think they're capable of of causing a shock. So I think the key is just not to be complacent, just absolutely go for it because they are capable of hurting us.
Thank you very much. Predictions, guys. Gaz, I'll come to you first.
I'm going to say 2-0, and I think it'll be quite comfortable, really, just because they've had an okay season. They're in 9th place. It is top half of the table, but the recent form has been a bit poor, so I think we'll get the result, and I think we'll play well as well.
I'd love that. Howson?
I don't know what he's basing that we're going to play well on.
Because we changed it. We changed it against Preston.
Hey, if you two want to flirt with each other, phone each other after the show, come on, lads.
We had a bit more width, and I think that Louis van Gaal will see that worked, and I think that's how we'll play in this game.
All right. Hayley, what's your prediction?
Hey, I didn't finish.
I did, yeah, I'll come back to you now.
Going for 3-1. I think we'll concede, but yeah, hoping for a good performance. 3-1.
Hassan?
1-1 because we're crap.
Oh, I hate you.
I hate
you and your pineapple head.
Anyway, I'm predicting 2-0 Manchester United. We'll be down at the game, so if you're there, make sure you come and find us. Get your comments in below. Your predicted 11s, your predicted scores, who you're scared of for Swansea. I'm Adam McCola, and I'm out of here.
Stop saying that!
What I see out there on the pitch, we would have killed for at times during Sir Alex Ferguson's reign. Some of the players that are out there, Angel Di Maria, Rooney, Falcao, these are players that grace World 11s, not just Premier League 11s or Manchester United 11s,